Hello, welcome to CLSB Politics. My name is Sean Briscoe. I'm still here in Texas. This is part one of my national political campaign organizing plan for the DNC. This one's mostly going to focus around continuous year-round organizing and some of the obvious, maybe some of the not so obvious advantages to that program. So why don't we get started? So what does really continuous year-round programming actually mean? Like what are you doing when there's not an election to win, right? That's kind of the big question. Well, first thing you have to do is you got to give operatives a place where they can operate from. So we need to establish permanent regional organizing hubs nationwide, and honestly, we should tailor those per cycle. And I brought this up in the previous video, there's like 8 or 9 state house seats in North Atlanta. There's 5 within driving distance, but like an hour drive from Memphis. There's a bunch clustered up in Bentonville. These are all state house seats I believe the Democratic Party can win. And so you've got these clusters all over the place that you can, take advantage of. Now, some states are not as clustered as others. Like Virginia is all spread out all over the place, but the places that are obvious to set up shop are pretty obvious, and then the rest you're going to have to kind of figure out. So the nationwide hubs are a very, very important part. Don't let state lines bother you either, right? Because we're here to. I mean, a corporation, when they're dividing up turf, they don't worry about state lines. They worry about where the cities and populations are. So keep in mind, we're not organizing by state here. We're organizing by need. And from those points, we can launch continuous voter contact initiatives. And then, that's where those organizers I talked about in the last video come in, as far as town halls and community listening sessions, all that stuff. And all that's just data we're collecting. And we have real metrics, like real things that we're trying to capture. And we standardize those. So there's no deviation in wording or anything like that, which can skew your data and how the question's perceived or whatever. So if we do have a weird thing, well, it's going to be a weird thing all the way through. That way our data's consistent all the way through. But also we're pretty smart, and we've been doing this a long time. And I'm almost certain that we can figure this out. So it's just, to reiterate, canvassing. Not huge teams. I'm not talking hundreds of canvassers. But canvassing, get in there, get those 4Ds, 3Ds, 2Ds wrapped up, and make sure they know what's going to happen in 26, or what are the key races that we're working on in 26, so they know where we're going to need them come September 26. That's what that's about. Digital reach, outreach programs, newsletter, SMS. There's a lot of that happening, but I don't think it's very well coordinated. And some of it is very well coordinated. I'm not here to poop on anyone's parade. There are some really, really smart people doing some very, very, very good work out there. And I'm definitely not messing with them. But I know that there's also an opportunity here to coordinate a little bit better, especially if the DNC actually does set up something like this. I think it'll be very, very important, because you want, for one thing, social media calendars. You want people to know about your fish fry. Right? I mean, you want to know about the different events that are coming up that the local party and then, and the DNC's helping with. Plus, I mean, the local party never hears from the DNC. All of a sudden, they're going to hear from us. And it's going to be a long term. Like, we will know the county chair that just left and the county chair that just got elected. We'll know them, and they'll know us, because we've been there and we've been doing it for over a year or 2 years or 3 years. By 2028, we should be doing this for 3 years. So we'll know the leadership in all these areas. We'll know their strengths, what their capacity is. There won't be any surprises. All that, cross, information exchange, very, very important. So that's kind of that. And that the reason you need the year-round organizing is because it affects all the canvassing, your outreach, targeting, polling, all the things, all the data we collect, so that we can make smart decisions in September and October. All that stuff plays out to that point. I often tell candidates. I actually stole this from diving when I was in diving school a million years ago. They say, plan your dive and dive your plan. If you don't, you could die. It's like that serious, because the bends and bubbles and stuff, and you need to have enough air to, get all the, sit there at that 35, 40 foot, I believe. Oh God, I'm gonna get somebody's gonna have a scuba. Done scuba. I haven't done scuba in 20 years, but there's that spot where you sit there and you do your little exercises and get all the bubbles out of all those nitrogen bubbles that build up. You get all those out of your system, and then you're safe to go up. That way you don't get the bends and stuff. Well, you have to have O2 for that. You got to be sitting there, doing your exercises. Well, that's why you have to plan your dive and dive your plan. Well, I say the same thing for campaigns. Plan your campaign, and then campaign your plan. The decisions you will make when you're not in the trenches, lack of sleep, just the noise and all the garbage that you get just beating on you during a campaign, all that stuff is going to be in your face. And yes, you're going to have to make adjustments in your campaign, and that's going to have to happen regionally everywhere, right? Because all politics is local. Things work different in different places. So, but if you've got your plan and then you stick to it as much as you can, like I said, stuff changes. But I consider it kind of like trench warfare. Before you get in the trenches, you can see miles. But once you get in those trenches, you can see a few yards. Well, when you're in campaign mode, you're seeing a few yards out. That's why some of this planning is very important. So anyway, thanks for watching and subscribing. Like I said, this is only part one of I've got another 6 videos coming down the pipe. If you wish to support the work this channel does, we have a PayPal at CLSP Politics. All right. Hope everyone has a great day. See you later.